I started the idea to create some more energy. So what I did was I decided to the food that I would eat during this week, waking up, going to Wawa in the morning, eating a nice warm meal. Uh, I took the money that I would have used. So by tomorrow, I figure it's like $11 and probably 11 cents a day when it when you get like an egg bowl. I'm not counting the drinks. Like if I get an energy drink, because I'm still gonna buy that regardless. Now, I could also sacrifice that as well, but at the time being, because it's a fast from food, then I take the 5 days that I would have eaten at Wawa in the morning or even lunch, on an average about $11.11 for the 5 days. So I'm going to take what I would have used, and by Saturday, when I go to the bathroom, $55.55 would have been pooped out of me into the toilet, and it would have went down into the sewer system. And whatever happens with crap after that is what would have happened. So instead, I was able to save $55.55 by not eating for the 5 days. And so this is the amount I'm going to add into my PayPal account, but I just linked the bank account, and so uh, it's going to take 3 to 5 business days to get in there. Oh well, but at least I got 92.33 because Justin wants to keep it's just about the keeping the energy moving, even if it is a 2-3 bypass. 2 and 33 cents. It's something. It's the point is, it doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's a quarter. I mean, SJD, I didn't know that unless Justin said something. But even he was in the mood. He's in a giving mood. Yeah, it's a quarter. So what? You think it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. Even giving a quarter, transferring it where it costs you nothing. It doesn't cost you anything to transfer it into my account. I'm the one that pays the $4 fee, whatever it is, that in order to get it over to Richie in the UK. So this is now we're up to right about 400 US dollars. So that's what I'm going by, US dollars. The goal was 1,000, and it's all about just keeping it moving, no matter what it is. Heidi sent a 2-3 bypass as well. It's such a great thing to do that no matter what, it's going to keep picking up energy, regardless of who puts the money in or doesn't. It's going to keep moving. This is a rent forgiveness program. So it's on its way, Richie. It's on its way, but it'll probably be next week for that. But that's good because next week you'll be getting something again within 3 to 5 days. But so now I'm gonna take this and transfer it. So I'll use 92.33, and then I'll pay 450 to get it shipped over there. $72.07. The 7207 is sent. I'll add it all up, but so far it's really close to 400 American dollars. So the Jeffrey sent 90. It's the one where for some reason it got sent back, but he sent it back directly. So thank you for that. So altogether, it's $411.79, and then, but a couple Justin sent about I think $10 over to him, and Colleen sent 911, and I think somebody else sent 10, so that's like another 30. So that's $444.79. And then when I put my 55, it comes to just about $500. So I'm halfway there. I started this last week by asking if people wanted to help me pay my rent in Florida. Yeah, it might be a little selfish, but I'm shooting for the stars. So then I had a better idea. Let me help somebody that actually needs their rent paid now and not a year's in advance. That'll come down the line because the fruit of this labor is actually progressing. It's all by just saying something out loud, like, you know what, I think I'm going to add a PayPal account. You can donate if you want to. And I got some slack for it. And then because of that, I got some slack, and I went over and looked at the other Jeffrey's channel, Frenchie Kush, and I started listening to his music. I like it, and I like the energy that he has as to how he's going about his business in his life. So that came from kind of a negative response in a way, but then I turned it into something that is more beneficial in the end, long term, which is just doing whatever you can now. Justin gets it. He gets it. It's about the movement itself. It's about a continually doing something to feed it. Because who's to say that you give $2.30 and then you realize, you know what, that actually feels good to be part of the movement of rent forgiveness. Look, if you believe in karma and you believe in it, what comes around goes around, it's the same thing that comes around in a negative sense, goes back around in a negative sense. And in a positive sense, it comes around and goes around. Like Christ when he said, if you ask and you shall receive. So if you're asking for problems and negativity, you shall receive that as well.
I just want you to pay attention. I know it's the kingdom of the crystal skull, but this is, Jesus said you can tell every tree by its fruit. So whatever tree you're looking at, whatever that tree produces, tells you what kind of tree it is. An apple has apples, oranges, thorns, thorns. Okay.
I, All right, why don't the two of you talk and we can address it later. I mean, yeah. Okay. All right.
The enemy's secrets.
Party life is a very
To place our
familiar
thoughts
topic
into the
to us
minds
all.
of your leaders. Make your teachers teach them.
To watch it unfurl in the world. But, and it's a big but, he had a short video. And funnily enough, I've been drawn lately to certain parts of scripture, and one of the parts I was drawn to was that God is not a respecter of people. And this culminates into a huge journey that many of you have witnessed and watched. And why is it that God is not a respecter of people? Well,
I think they're getting frustrated. I think they're pulling out every play in the, and I think they have a whole bunch of plays. I mean,
Yeah, they've been thinking about this for hundreds of years, man.
playbook, but
This isn't something that's been planned in the last 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 years. This has been in their playbook for who knows how long, man. Who knows?
Apparently Jesus picked up on something going on in Rome, and when he started talking about his own return, I think he might have been speaking on it happening at the same time as whatever he was noticing. I can't think of an exact scripture right now off the top of my head, but I can remember thinking to myself, oh, Jesus, he knew like something was being formulated, something was being planned, and by Rome, and it was gonna be like world dominating. To me, that's it's a perception thing. I'm not saying like an exact scripture or anything like that, but obviously
It's a
he knew
good
something.
perception.
He started talking about his return. I think his return lined up with their plan coming to completion.
So it's phenomenal what they've had. This expansion of their being is tremendous to watch, and to watch it unfurl in the world. But it's your vibration that God is going to meet. It's not your deeds. Now your deeds can help to raise your vibration, but it's your vibration that God will respect. It's because that is where you access consciousness.
Just keep testing it, Justin. However it happens, it happens. Above and beyond. Hello. So this is how it happened. This is just a creation of Catherine O'Connell. Copy. It's nothing I ever did before. Paste link and put in chat. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I go to invite. So I was given some good advice on that one, because that's where the link is. When I click on a link, just show you what's going on here. I mean, some things can be easier for others that have knowledge of working with computers. As you can even see that. But not only that, it's an energy creation of. It's not so important about what your belief is. What is your energy through your belief that you have? So it's about your energy. It's not about your belief. But your energy is what creates the belief system. You might be able to have something going here. Copy. Okay, copy that. And then paste. Ah, there you go. There you go. I want talk about how you explain Jesus is not God the Father. Right at 29. Look, you know who Jesus is? He's who you think he is. That's it. Copy the past link. Says your device isn't connected, Justin. So at 29, let me see exactly when he appeared. 29:33. For the first time, as the creation of, I don't even know what you call it, any topic, maybe something like that, any topic, because it's about any topic. That's in line with whatever. I mean, you would have enough respect to know what to don't go drearing off to, because I still have to learn too, apparently, because I just have this thing with show and clicks. what he's saying, because I want you to understand what you're saying. I want you to understand how I perceive it. So how do I show it? I heard somebody else say that you can just talk about it, but I guess I got to separate myself from being able to continually show stuff, because it's about visual evidence with me. To actually see it, hear it, watch it before, during, and after, to give you a feel of what the whole story is about. So 29:33. Now, let me be clear. I don't take any stock in the book itself as to you can just type in a number in it and it predicts the future. Gematria is a tool that you use. However you understand how to use it, use it. But to believe like the things that are being said, it's not really about believing what's being said, but as to how to find information. So, words have power. One who has a good reputation in the community, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I have true power. You can't touch me. So my first guess is Justin. Justin is somebody I met in person, drove 5 hours down towards Pittsburgh because I had the time to be able to do it, and I had the money to be able to do it. And it felt good back then to have that time, that freedom. And this, I'm on vacation this week, and that's the thing that feels really good. Even though I'm still doing work at my friend's house, it's still vacation to me. The literal mindset of the punching the clock towards doing something that you actually enjoy doing, like tile or cabinets, kitchen cabinets, trim work, that kind of thing. But it's like a retirement feeling. So I can only imagine just being able to relax and do what you know is helping. It's an energy creation. However you can create your energy in your life and distribute it to as many people as possible. That's the goal. How do you do it? Everybody has different gifts as to how they do it. So this is something that it's just time to, see what people have to say instead of things being scripted all the time. Instead of scripts being read and things being pre-planned, I'd rather just do it live, like hop right on, because I've already talked to Justin a gazillion, trillion, zillion times, but Brian Tucker was the next guest. So Justin's my first guest on March 10th, 2021. At 29 minutes and 33 seconds into the video. And then Tucker showed up. And Tucker's a long-time subscriber. I remember that name from the beginning. I remember Brian Lunsford's name from the beginning. I remember the certain people 3 years in past, which was back in 2017. But I never talked to Tucker on the phone. I have his number, text him few times, quite a few. And then Richie I just started talking to now, so we can communicate also. But I never talked to him on the phone or in person. So Brian for the first time and Richie for the first time, talked to them live. You got the same feel that I did. It's live. You don't really know what to always say, and the enemy inside of you will try to get you to feel uncomfortable at certain points. Like if nothing's being said, and like it's like silence. But so what? That's the thing that people need to defeat inside them. So what? If you're there being quiet and you're just thinking of what you should say, who's pressuring you to talk? Who's pressuring you to say anything or to make any movements of anything? Inside your head is telling you these things. But for the most part, it was a good feel because it's just I know it's a creation that is probably, maybe some people thought I would have been doing this. Maybe people thought I would have been doing this sooner or not at all. But I feel like it's something to just let people hop on the subs that I know, because it's about my subs that I know and long-term subs, and then just get to everybody's different viewpoint of whatever it is that's on your mind. This is a platform to do it. You guys have been a part of it, and even new subs and whoever has the ability to show me what you look like, and I can put the link in the, try to get a better, maybe I'll move everything up into the house when I do streams on yard stream, because I want to have it come in clear. But that's the idea, and there's no pressure. So I may not want to do another one for another month, but that's on me. That's up to me. It's up to my show to do it that way, and haven't done it for over 3 years. So what's the big deal just waiting? Or maybe I might do it every single night if I want to. But that's the beauty of it. But I'm supposed to get shut down, I think, the channels. So I feel like there's like it's not just my channel, but it's the shutdown of flicking the switch. The power of something goes out, and there's that 3 days of there's like no electricity, or there's the Comcast building, something happened close by that kept it from distributing Wi-Fi throughout all Philadelphia, or something of a power outage, and then there's a reset. 42 months coming up from September 23rd, 2017. 42 months. But what happens at 42 months? Could just be something behind the scenes that nobody sees. But I think beforehand there's supposed to be wasn't the woman, didn't she travail in birth before the pangs, or she had like a birth before having a birth? I have to find the scripture. I'm sure people that know the Bible better than I do knows I'm talking about that.
I got kicked out that time for turning my headphones on. As soon as they turned on and made the noise in my ear, it all exited out.
Yeah.
When I ran upstairs, I realized what you said about local heroes. So the shirt said local. It didn't click to me till I ran upstairs what a local hero was. I forgot about that term. I just now.
When I rewatch it, it seems like I'm not paying attention, but I am. I'm watching. Here's what I'm doing. I'm watching through here, and then looking over there. So I'm looking up there. That way I can see everybody clearer. So I'm looking at you. I'm just not looking directly at the camera. But when people don't look at the camera, it also makes it seem like they're reading a script because they're looking over here, not looking at the camera. And I'll just keep trying it out and see how everything works.
Access consciousness. Now, this comes into the idea of attracting your reality through the vibration you emit. Now, it's not a direct thing. A law of attraction is not as simple as people say. It's, as Jesus spoke about it, whatever you so ask in prayer and believe, you will have it. And the problem is some people will even ask for things by complaints or prayers to Satan, as I call them, as Bob Marley called them, and I'm using a lot recently because it's just so poignant in my life. And persons are seeing around them that those who complain a lot about sickness get more of it. And those of you who have watched me through my health journey, there went I could not be saved. That was how severe it was. That little girl did not attract that. She did not bring that into her life. Her grandmother manifests evil from a force which must be acknowledged in this world that I live within, helping those in need, that there is an evil force. And I call that force Satan, but Satan is a word that represents that energy of evil and negativity and wrongdoing. And other persons have other names for it, but my label is Satan. Satan's not a man with horns and a pitchfork. It is a force, and it is a force that can come through humanity. And we almost...
And it's so true how the force, call it a spirit, a force. It's a good word, a really good word for Satan, because Satan is a force inside of you. Even from day to day, moment to moment, as you think by yourself, you're just thinking, and you may start drifting off into anxious feelings because of what you're thinking about. Literally, when you're thinking about these things, you're creating the feeling inside of your own stomach. When you start to recognize that force that's inside of you is a constant war between both of your spirits until you conquer it, and then you stop warring with it because you already defeated it, because you're aware of it now. You're aware of how easily simple thoughts pop into your head, and it starts to give you feelings inside of your actual body and where it all comes from. The spirit is a force to be reckoned with. But when you turn on the light and all the cockroaches scatter, it's because you shed the light on the subject. And because of the awareness of it, you're able to defeat the negative feeling. It's just a negative feeling. Even in front of a camera, I tend to start to feel like something's forcing me and something's making me feel uncomfortable, but it's because I am doing it to myself. I'm talking to AI. It's not that I don't feel stupid talking to a camera. I don't care if somebody like walks in and sees me talking to a camera. It doesn't, this is it. This is what my life is at this moment right now. So I talk to this AI device, and I talk to people, and I know I help people, and that's all that really matters. How I help them, I don't know. I just know that there's an energy that I have inside of me that I'm trying to portray to everybody else. And whatever I can create out of it, we're all creators. This is what we do, we create. YouTube is a creator source. So I'm trying to create whatever energy I can to combat that constant force that drives inside of you. It's just doing the exact opposite of what you actually want to do and feel like. It's that force. Sometimes you need the force to put yourself in check. I use that, if you want to call it Satan, the force there's times where I don't want to hear about myself, and but Satan's side needs to tell me about myself so I can put myself in check, and then I can appreciate why my negative side, the fire burning side of me, is rising up, because it's trying to get the Robin, the immature child over there to grow up. That's what that is. It's like a father-son relationship inside of your own spirit. You're trying to be the father by teaching your son, which is who you were, because you grow up into this entire system as a baby, and then you become a child, and then you have children, you become a father. It's just a mindset inside of your own vessel that you can teach yourself how to grow up by being your own father to your own son. It's an energy that moves forward. It's just a continuous movement. this is our brain. This is what our brain does. It continually thinks, and creates, and moves. I look at it like it does more of a swirl. When I close my eyes and I lay down, it's more of a swirl. And if you open your eyes and just look in the dark, you'll see the swirl that goes on inside of your bodily functions, I guess, inside of whatever is going on in your eyes that has that wave going. So your thoughts don't ever stop. What I'm trying to say. Some people think they have a problem because they think too much. No, you just need to channel your thoughts. How do you do that? Well, you can channel it down this tunnel by listening to your enemy who constantly tries to make you feel uncomfortable about anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's in front of people, behind the camera, in front of the camera, wherever, however, trying to get you to feel as if you care about too much about what people's thoughts are. You don't even care what they're saying to you. You'd rather people just say something to you. Because when people say stuff, you know what they're thinking. This is more about being concerned about what people's thoughts are. So this is where that telepathy part comes in at, that you really can see how people feel because it's written in your eyeballs and it's written in your movement and your body language. It's just written. So there's an enemy inside of us that just it's on the same team with everybody else. It's the negative side, negative positive. It's a battery. We're just a battery. We're simply an energizer battery. Positive, negative. Satan, Jesus, good, evil. Like the really good, that's really good, and then the really evil. Or the really opposite, necessary evil. You need it both. You got to balance yourself out. This is what it's about. I'm trying to balance myself out from what I've learned growing up on YouTube, immature, angry, irritated, pissed off, to no, nah, you're not doing that to me ever again, Satan. Nope. That force, it's out of me. The force is out of me. But there's still lingering attempts of the force of the negative side that tries to get me to feel like, no, don't do that. No, don't. You'll be, you're just so uncomfortable. So what do? I grew up with social anxiety, and then from social anxiety to just out of the first time having 3 other guests on my show. It's just a start. I mean, I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know where the energy's going. That's all that matters is energy. You can't worry about where you, like, well, how's it going to happen? Don't worry about it. Just go with the energy of it and let that continue on and just keep doing whatever you can, whatever minor little things you got to do to keep the energy flowing. I remember watching John over in Tanzania probably around early 2008, definitely the year 2018. I remember paying attention to his energy and what he's creating over there. And I've heard rumors of things, but here's the thing. How does anybody truly know what is really going on behind the scenes besides them? Which means casting a judgment on somebody because of you're convicted, you truly believe it with all your heart, but you have no proof, but you truly believe it. So you therefore convict somebody of what you believe because of rumors or because of your own judgmental side. Whatever people have done in their lives or haven't done or been accused of doing things that they haven't done, because I've been there. You get accused of things that you aren't, but I didn't realize that it was people's jobs to actually do that. I understand what the whole thing is now. It just took some time. But John's energy, it always felt good. And when he would talk about fasting, it would get me thinking about it. And then when I do fast, well, then I look for the fasting videos as he's talking about it, because I heard that you're not supposed to talk about it when you fast. It's just another misconception of misinterpreting the Bible, because how else is anybody going to know if you don't say something? And then once you say something, then someone starts it. It's because of what you said, right? It's not about look at me, look at me. It's about look at what this energy brings forth. From my own experience, I can tell you that fasting is the best thing anybody can possibly do in their lifetime. Is fast, because you recognize all of your thoughts, where they all come from, why. Only if you're consciously aware that you're not going to eat food, and it's not that it's like there are people that are kind of blessed that they don't really feel like eating and they stay in good shape. But when you're consciously aware that you're going to not eat, then what does everybody do? What's the hardest thing to do? What's the hardest thing not to do on the planet? If you thought of one thing that's something you're just like, think about doing without, and think about it for a day, doing without for a day of whatever it is. Think, what is the one thing that you just, no, I'm not going there. I'll do without that, but no, not that. It would have to be food. Food for the majority of the people. Food is the hardest thing not to eat. So when you don't eat, you just consume your time with other means. You adapt. You just stop complaining in your spirit and shut up and just move along with the moment. That for me, after 4 days, going on the 5th day, tomorrow, Friday, of not eating any solid food, I didn't even think about it the first couple of days. Today I'm starting to think about the benefits of what I'm experiencing right now by knowing that there's the energy level that you get with yourself, which is riding the wave. It's just the fact that you've been doing something that 99% of the world isn't even trying to do right now, and 90% of the world can't even do. But 99% aren't doing it at the moment. Voluntarily. I'm not talking about the people that are starving to death. That's what needs to change as well. People starving when you can just print money. You can just print it and hand it out. There's plenty of food to go around. Plenty of everything to go around. So you can just print that money and hand it out and take care of the starvation. But the fasting itself is you are starving what we know as what Satan is. Satan in our vessel. Just focus on what Satan is in your vessel. You are the flesh. Satan runs the flesh. He owns the flesh. You're constantly needy, greedy, unsatisfied, and hungry. So when you stop doing something that you're so used to doing, and you have like OCD, you have repetitive thoughts, you do things over and over again, you can't stop thinking, you're tired of it all. Well, when you don't eat, you'll start to recognize those thoughts. Why do I feel like I have to jump on the train of that thought and just overanalyze it and think it out and talk about it completely until I can't find any other angle of wasting my time thinking about something that pertains to nothing? Why would you waste your time? Well, because a thought pops in my head and it's me thinking it. Well, it's you, it's the side that you need to break that habit of and create a new pattern inside of you, which is being reborn inside of your own spirit. You're rebirthing yourself in a spiritual sense, which is the way to go about being reborn, the true interpretation is from within, inside, just your spirit. Nothing to do with any kind of physical part of your body. It's all spiritual, being resurrected. How do you become resurrected? Well, you become saved. You get saved. How do you get saved? Saved of what? What are you saving yourself from? When you die, if you go up or down to heaven or hell? Well, we're here now in this pit, and there's something up above that's different than this, that people have grown up and looked down and seen where we are. So there's like different levels. But when you die, cross that bridge when it happens. We're talking about now. Being saved from what? Well, saved from your own negative force called Satan inside of your spirit that runs you in many different aspects. When my wife talks about her best friend and how she battles the food demon, because she constantly talking about eating, and my wife is like a nitpicker, and it's like that's her best friend, and she talks. Some of you guys, you've heard the conversations. It's not my wife talking, it's her talking, her friend, a best friend. But who's the best friend? The one listening to somebody that keeps talking about the same thing, and they try to give advice and they don't listen anymore and they keep talking about it? Or the person that keeps talking and doesn't, So who's the best friend? Right. The best friend is the one that needs to just cut that. When you realize you can't get through to somebody, you gotta sever it and let them run along and learn the way that they gotta learn. Because you've done your part. You've learned how to hold your tongue. It's funny because my wife's best friend is the only one that she's afraid to speak her mind with. Not with me, not with my kid. No, but with her. She don't want to hurt her feelings. She finally had to hurt her feelings because she got tired of hearing it and said, "Is that all that you care about, is talking about food?" Seriously, because that is a god to people. It's a god. Can you refrain from doing it? Hell no. Well, can you try? Can you try? I mean, why don't you just try? Oh yeah, do it, or just do it. It's like, oh, I'll try the show thing. I'll see how, or I'll just do it. I'll try to do it. There. How about if you just try to do it? Don't just try. Try to do it. It's good advice. That's all I can really give you. Good advice. You can take it or leave it. It's not always fun, but when you get past the third and fourth day, it's just kind of, you like left, like the whole world that's on your shoulders just dropped off. It's like, who cares? Live in the moment right now. Stop thinking about tomorrow. Stop worrying about what you just said to somebody. Stop judging yourself because you're turning the focus back in on yourself. Like your own force inside of you. Here's what it does inside of my head when I catch it. There's a force inside that if I say something or I'm talking and then it'll turn around and look at me with judgmental eyes. There's so much oozing judgment coming out of the spiritual sense of, imagining that Satan is a force in front of you and you're doing it to yourself. And that's all it is. You're doing it to yourself. You are doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing it for you. Who are you talking to? I mean, it's you. It's yourself. Inside of your own vessel, the best way I can explain it is when you shut him up, oh my God, you can just live your life. It's so great. If you can just do that, that spirit, that force that's always trying to just It feeds off negative energy, right? Isn't that what it is? It feeds off of negative energy. It is negative energy. It's never going to be positive energy inside of your vessel. You have the positive energy. You are the one that's supposed to take the positive and just go over the negative, because like negative, positive, negatives up here. No. You gotta balance it out. When the negative's too far down, you gotta use both like this. They both gotta be like that. Basically, they're not supposed to touch each other either. Like they're negative and positive. It's crazy that I can actually feel the magnetic force when you do that. You really can. Try it. Believe me, you feel the magnetic in your own hands. So it's up here in your brain. How to control yourself is fasting, doing without something that you're so used to doing. Even if it's not just food, it's fasting of whatever it is that constantly consumes you, something that's consuming you. It's usually a thought, right? It's usually a thought. Any kind of drug, it's the same as the food thought. You have a thought to do drugs or whatever it is, something that can be detrimental in your life. You have a thought to do that. It's the same as I'm hungry. I would love to have a bag of chips right now, maybe a Snickers bar or something. My wife is cooking a cake for my mom. It's her 74th birthday tomorrow. And the cake smells so good. And I just appreciate the smell now. I'm not even like, oh man, I'm so hungry. I don't feel hunger. It's not like there's no hunger pains. It's just a continual wave of an energy wavelength that keeps you moving in a direction that's in the now, the moment now. Your life is now. Once people can finally get that and grasp it, you cast out the negative thoughts that pop in your head all the time, because that's your negative side, the force. Balance it out if you have to, or stomp it to the ground, get rid of it. But either way, the negative is always going to be there, because without the negative and the positive, your heart stops. So you're going to need it. You just need to learn how to channel it so it can it's self-leveling. That's what it is. Your spirit needs to be self-leveled, because you're way too up here in the negative. Or if you're way too up in the positive because of a delusion that you're on, then you need to be brought back down to earth. Some have said that to me, and they probably still think that way. But being positive about what you know to be true, opposed to what people think that you might think you know to be true, when it is. But the reality is, nobody really truly knows except for those that can communicate it. So it's about the entire synopsis of your life is about feeling comfortable wherever you are, whatever you're doing, not having a guilty conscience because you're not doing anything that's making you feel that way. You have a clean slate, you're good to go, and you can be yourself. No matter where you are, no matter who you're around, it doesn't matter. It's your spirit that has been tormenting you your whole life. And when you see it, because you flick the light on and you see them, they scatter. It's like if you own a house or you're renting or whatever, you walk in your house and you got a couple bums just sitting on your couch making a mess, empty alcohol bottles, not giving you any respect, not paying any rent, not paying any bills, nothing. They're just sitting there mooching off of you. And if you walk by in your house and you see them sitting there on the couch, and if you just continue to let them do that, well, they're going to keep tormenting you because it's going to irritate you, but you're not going to say anything. Now, but if you keep saying something to them and they keep doing the same thing, Yeah, at least you're speaking up, but they're still doing the same thing. Until you kick them out of your house and clean house and get out of here, because why would you want to be around filth and negativity? What's the point of it? It does nothing for you but brings you down. So that's why I told my wife, you got to cut this thing off. Just let it be. Because it's something where she always felt like she had to talk every day on the phone. So she severed it. I felt that way before, so I had to sever it. Because anytime anybody makes me feel pressured to do so, I got to sever it until later on. There's always later on. Later on has been proof that it took some time to get to that point in order to start over again. You just have a greater appreciation for people when you go through things like that. So hopefully my wife's best friend would appreciate her in the end for being such a great friend to her. And then so that energy continues on, but you have to realize that when you see those bums in your house, you're kicking them out now. Because now you recognize that they're there and they shouldn't be there anymore, taking up space. They're not even renting space in your head or in your house. They're taking it and you're allowing them to. This is the enemy inside of you. This is how I see him. It, the force. It's a constant try to get you to be the exact opposite of what you truly want to be. Don't allow it to do it to you anymore. Just stop. Just stop it. See it. Feel it. Some people, you see, I've learned this too. You need to feel the anxiety of something, think it through, and then cast it out. I do that by pushing the button on the record and talking about whatever. Because the first 3 years of my career, yeah, I battled the thoughts, this, you can call it a spirit, you can call it demonic force, you can call it negative energy, you can call it Satan, you can call it your enemy, you can call it your opposition. My opposition inside of my own vessel, my spirit, it speaks for itself. What is it that you want to do in life? You want to feel good because you're doing what's good. You want to be in good shape. You want to, me, a person, I want to be able to breathe. I just want to breathe. I've always had breathing problems. From a kid, from 6 years old, walking in the park by myself, just like grabbing a wishy thing. Like, I wish I can stop doing this. And then it blew away and it never came true. So wishing upon those little things don't work. Just FYI for anybody if you thought they did. But it's about just experiencing your life now. Stop worrying about what things are going to happen. I mean, it's hard to, hard to see past the forest because how it's looking, things are clamping down, they're going to get, and just feel like something's going to really happen tomorrow that just seems like on the 12th, I don't know. But who knows? I don't know. I made many predictions about the second 9/11 in Philadelphia. They never came true. I always talked about the 17th JFK. Nothing ever happened there. Well, except for the water turned on and off at the Comcast building. But the second 9/11 never happened. All those predictions never came true. Oh well. At least I don't care that I was wrong. I don't care. This camera can't make me feel like I should care. The spirit inside, called the force of your opposition, negative energy, Satan. I don't care, Satan. I don't care what you think. Because I know that what you think is the exact opposite of what I do. All right? So I don't care. I know what you think. You're thinking the exact opposite of what I'm thinking. That's why I know you. I know that you think the exact opposite that I do. But that's the energy. So when everybody has that understanding that they can do that, they can do what? They can cast out the abomination of desolation that's standing in your holy place. When you see the abomination of desolation standing in your holy place, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, flee to the mountains, to go to the highest conscience part of you and get out, because you're hearing that the abomination that's making you desolate is ruining your life. Every day that goes by, what do you think about day after day? If you're worried about, like, think about today. Here's a little example. What is it today that you're stressing about, that you stressed about yesterday, but today came to pass, and you're just continuing on from lagging some luggage with you of thoughts that you're carrying on to, and you open up, you're looking at all the written thoughts, like, let it go. So what is it that you were thinking of that stressed you out yesterday, or the week before that, or the month, or the year, or something you constantly seem to struggle with day in and day out? Where's it getting you? And did anything happen from that point on that you're stressed about? Most of the time, the answer is no, and I've been wasting my time feeling lost, hopeless, feeling like there's no point. People feel that way, but it's a battle that you're going through inside of your own spirit. Nobody else is going through the battle for you. One of the blessing curses that me and my wife have is that we have felt people's pain for them. We can like tap into their mind as to what they think and feel when they're not even aware of it, but we feel their pain for them. I told my wife that this is something you got to shut off, and don't let your negative force tell you that you are selfish for shutting off your feelings, because you need to learn how to shut them off and then turn them on when you need to. That way you're not burdened with everything. So I can only imagine how people feel that can surveil the entire planet, that have eyes to see and ears to hear. You see and hear so much agony, I'm sure, in people, and others you hear joy, but you must get an earful, being the gods that you are, surveilling the entire planet that you guys have shaped, the earth. That enemy inside, when you finally tell it to beat it, and it also gets you, here's how it gets you too. If you're in a hurry, you're constantly in a hurry, you hurry to get there, you hurry to talk, you hurry. That's the hurry demon I talked about. That's the one that forces you forward to move and to do when you don't want to, or you're not in the mood to. Sometimes it's not the hairy demon. You mistake him for the discipline angel that's there to shape you up. May be harsh, but there's a difference between the one that's harsh and it's for the better of you, than the one that it's for the better of it to get to you so you can do all the work. So the lazy spirit inside of you can rest as you do all the work, worrying and stressing about stuff, because that's the negative energy that you're creating for your negative side. That's a little bit too much. You're overcharging the negative side because of your spirit that you're allowing to take control of you with your thoughts of negativity. Self-perception. Self-perception is your worst enemy. When you perceive yourself, when you forget what you look like, when you forget who you are, when you look into a mirror and you accept who you are, what you look like, this is a fleshly form. I'm a spirit inside of a flesh body that dies eventually. Okay, whatever you are, you are. But self-image is the spirit inside that gets you to focus in on yourself. It's the one that turns, it's like protrudes out, turns around and starts pointing like this. And it's focusing in on you, and there's all judgment. And you may think other people are judging you because if you walk with your head down, you don't know, you don't look at people that, or you just think that people are negatively thinking about you as you care, because maybe they are. Maybe they are. Then it gets to the point, well, who cares if they are? Who cares if they're thinking negative about you? What does it matter to you in your own vessel? Why does it matter to you what people think about you? If you could, and you don't need to take it as, you're such a horrible person because you don't care what people think. No, you do care what people think, but you separate negative, positive. You want to think negative? Go ahead. God, evil, be evil still. You want to think positive? Well, that's great. Hey, I can help you think some more things. But the negative energy, when you're not looking to change, get out of here. I'm done with you. I'm done with anything that does that in my life, period. Anything that gives me a negative vibe, goodbye. I don't need to hold on to anything. Nobody's controlling me but myself. I control myself. You control yourself. Or you let your enemy control you for whatever reason. Self-perception. It's a vision, it's an image that you have of yourself. When you could finally accept yourself, that feeling of judgment that you're creating inside of your own spirit, you cast it out. You stop doing it. You see the abomination that's making your life desolate inside of your spirit, you cast them out and you go to the highest conscience. You go to the mountains. You change what it is that's been bothering you and controlling your life, even the stupidest little things. You might think they're stupid, but they're not, because it's little tiny 5-second examples that helps the process of getting rid of the get out of here. That's what it is. We all think in ourselves. We have conversations with ourselves. We talk to ourselves. I chose to talk to other people because instead of me just talking to myself, which I could have done, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to myself like this all the time. I know I'm talking to people, so it's a little bit different now. But instead of me talking to myself, I decided to push a button that records and upload it into the computer for other people to listen to. And I've learned that people actually want to hear more. So here I am talking some more for those people. And it's my calling to do this. Not knowing that I was going to do it, not being pressured into doing it, that's why I'm doing it. This is why I'm doing it. When anybody starts to pressure me into doing anything, it's not going to happen. When people are being deceitful, it's not going to last. You may deceive me in the beginning, but in the end, all things are revealed. It's just the way it is. Everybody has to hit me with their best shot. That way, when you finally see all of it, and it doesn't work, well, then your vision failed. And the consciousness of people have been rising up by watching people like John St. Pierre over there in Tanzania. Did I say St. Pierre? I'm sorry. St. Julian. Sorry, John. I was thinking of somebody else. Everybody has the names John. But it's like, this is the energy that you get from watching people that have that mindset. The problem is you don't believe it. So you don't believe it. you can't experience what he's dishing off because some people don't believe it. But again, that who's telling you you have to believe it? That's the thing. Who cares if you believe it or not? Why does that matter? That is the thought that runs your life. That one right there. It's that one. It's a different topic all the time, but it's the feeling of, why does it matter to you if you believe somebody? Why does it matter if you don't believe somebody? Why does that matter? Why does that control your emotions? Don't attach feelings to it one way or another. It's like when I see surveillance and they have apps called a Citizens on Patrol app type thing, and they can follow you around or do whatever. Even if they are, okay, all right, well, it's their job, whatever. But if they aren't, and you're just paranoid because you think they are, well, then you got to work on that, because that's going to bother you. You're going to attach feelings to it. You're going to get irritated. Trust me, I've been through it. I know what it feels like. Me and my wife shut down my house for over a year, I think it was. We didn't like you guys coming into our house. And so, because I mean, who else would piss on my toothbrush? Would my wife do that? Right. Was it my son? Was he mad at me? I mean, who knows? Who knows who it was? But it's these little things. So I was kind of at the point where I'm done. I'm fed up. You guys aren't coming to my house again, that easily, because somebody's always going to be home. And then my stepmom moved in. We had it locked down for a while. I told my wife to quit her job because we're not doing this, and it worked. And we still had our life, and we didn't break up. It's crazy how, and we worked together, me and my wife, to put my house on lockdown for over a year because of the Gang Stalking Corporation. And then we decided, you know what? I don't even care anymore now. We went from not knowing what the hell's going on to, why are these people following us? What are they doing? What? Bo's bed moved. What's going on here? Oh, it's a real thing? Oh, of course it is. Look at all the people that were, oh my God, look what it does to people. Look at these people. Wow. It really ruins people's lives, doesn't it? Well, how come me and you were still together, honey? It didn't work. It didn't ruin our lives. It only helped us get stronger and work together. So, thank you to Satan. I would like to thank you personally, Satan, for trying to make my life difficult. You only sharpened me, because that's the negative energy that needed to come into my life to strike at me so I can strike back. I didn't know that there was a snake on the ground until he jumped up to bite me, so then I had to stomp his head. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, snake. And then I, healed the wounded head of the snake. It's the enemy side of you, your self-perception of an image that you have of yourself that judges your own being as you're walking by yourself thinking. Are you driving a car, you're thinking, you're judging yourself, you're forgetting what you look like. You're forgetting that who's judging you? It's you. It's you. You're doing it to yourself. So the bottom line is, beating a dead horse, the enemy that's inside of you, it needs to be that dead horse. And then you can stop beating the dead horse, because it's dead. It's dead because it's not that it's not alive. It's fully alive. Negative will always be alive. It's just dead inside of you because you crushed it. You conquered it. You realize where your thoughts are coming from. You understand that it's just you making yourself, you can make yourself physically sick. You can make yourself nauseous. You can make yourself filled with anxiety. You could do it to yourself. You can cause yourself not to breathe correctly because you're overthinking, overanalyzing, and you're stressing about things. You put yourself in your own prison. The crown of thorns is around your head. because that's what this world is doing, attempting to do it to everybody and shut them up. How long is it going to last for? I don't know. I mean, I heard 3 years is 3.5. I heard 7. I heard we're just not even starting yet. I'm still waiting for persecution. I'm still waiting for people to try to discredit what I'm saying for whatever reason. Still waiting on that. Still waiting to be surveilled, harassed, death threats. I'm still waiting on all that because apparently what already happened was exactly all of that. So we're at the end. In my life, we're at the end for my part because of what I put in and then what was acknowledged. My portion of what I did has already been put in and it's being used and it's being distributed. I may never even know, but the world will just start to become a better place. And that's all I care about. Literally. Can this world become a better place? How does it become a better place? Well, number one, you don't have to pay rent ever again in your life. You don't have to pay a mortgage ever again. If you are okay with living where you're at and you don't want to move to a different state, that's fine. You will never have to pay another bill in your life. How's that? Where you live, energy, water, rent, mortgage, whatever, nothing. That's living life better. Why does anybody need the money for you to live in their house? Well, because the system at the top is the ones that control everything, and they were greedy, and they like to keep you enslaved. When they have a change of heart, when the raptor eats Jesus, the bread of life, then watch out because that dragon was in charge of, like the things that per se the stuff that happens in the world has a really good say in how to influence people to make decisions at the highest level. Therefore, for me, all I got to do is think of that alone every day. And I'll be fine. What if that's a delusion? What if I'm deceived? Everybody needs to hit me with their best shot. You need to be hit with your best shot so that you can either you need to get back up and fight again, or you're standing there and that best shot does no damage to you and the vision fails. Now your spirit is in charge. Out of fear, people do some crazy things to their body because they're told that this is going to happen because of their perception of the interpretations in the Bible that are leaning towards doing that thing. And it's not about doing that thing. It's about circumcision of the heart. Period. That's all it is. To that enemy inside of you, you should be consciously aware of it all the time. Even if it's something that, it's just do the exact opposite of what has been making you feel uncomfortable. How's that? What has been making you feel uncomfortable? You know what also helped? The mask, not wearing it, going in the stores. I almost forgot about that. It's just like a normal, it's just whatever. Stores are, everybody wears their mask and nobody bothers me. So it's not even a thing anymore. But it's something that definitely helped because that alone is supposed to weigh on your conscience that people are watching, or you got to fight the beast system. As soon as you go to the door, they're going to bother you. That whole thing, when that doesn't even sound anymore, there's no sound whatsoever. Satan doesn't even. It's like, where you at, Satan? I don't even see you anywhere around. Normally, when I go into the stores, you're right there. You're screaming at me that they're going to bother me, and if not, I'm going to be judged by people when I'm walking in the store without being like them because you're the only one that didn't change. Why would that bother me? You guys changed. I'm still the same. You guys, everybody changed around me. Why are you all doing this? because you feel like you have to. It's just something that just won't do. I won't do it. Never did it. Will never do it. There's no reason for me to do it. If I can't go into a certain store, I can't go in. Oh well. There's always some other store somewhere. As long as the money is still up, you're still spending. The market of beast system, it's already here. It's just a matter of what are you going to do to get this? Well, I need a job. Yeah, but you need to wear a mask. All right, whatever. I need a job. Whatever. Well, that's the system. That is the reset. It's supposed to get everybody on the planet to comply. And when you don't, well, you're part of that 1% that isn't complying because you know you don't have to. You know it's all up in your head. You know that it's a spirit inside of you telling you to do it because you don't feel like being bothered. I don't feel like being bothered. Well, how do you know they're going to bother you unless you go in and keep doing it in different stores and find out that, man, it is all up in my head. Wow. Think about the anxiety, the heart pounding feeling that you can literally distribute that into your body because I've done it. That's how I conquered the fear. You think it was always easy going to stores out of mask as soon as it started? Hell no. Heart pounding and everything. I would go into a mask, alien mask, just because I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do, apparently, according to the law. But because I don't like man's law and the way it is now, not complying. So, but you can create that heart pounding feeling just by your thoughts. And that was me. That's Satan, right? With me all the way to the door. Like the beast system. Oh man. What was Satan telling me hello all the time? But once I kept doing it consistently, yeah, okay, so who cares? Well, if somebody bothered me, they bother me. It's the thoughts that you cast out. Like now it doesn't even, I don't even hear you, Satan. Like I don't even know, are you there? Because I can see clearly and I don't see him. He is not around. But he used to be, because that's the spirit screaming at you that you need to comply with them. It's such a spiritual battle. It's crazy how when you finally conquer it, you can live in the moment. You live in peace. You don't care what negative thoughts are, if they're in people or if it's in you, because most importantly, it's in you. Cast it out yourself. Then you really won't care what anybody thinks because you don't have to. What, you're a bad person because you don't care what people think? No. It's because you're turning it off from being that person that cared too much. You need to balance it out. Now, care not. And then balance it out to where when you need to, then, but don't experience people's pain all your life because you're tapping into their conscience as to what they're doing and thinking and feeling as they're living their life. Worry about your own.
He was a victim to that force. That force exists and wishes to push against the light, and it's there. And sometimes that force also brings things like sickness. Now, this is one of the problems we have, and forgive me for bringing that low energy stories to you, but this is reality. Let's not hide from truth so as we can dance around in the higher vibrations constantly.
This is about a woman who is blind and deaf and has a baby because of the person that did that to her. Obviously wasn't something that she planned on doing, but it's the force, the energy force that created that. And then now there's a baby born with a mother that can't see and can't hear. It makes it more difficult to take care of a child. So that's what this is all about over there.
We hear that, it's a low vibe, we bring ourselves back up and we seek the gratitude that those children are safe and cared for and loved because Creator gave me a path to make it so.